How did you find out about Kaizen?
Well, I really wanted to grow the business very much, and I was sort of researching on the internet, and I came across a few articles written by Michael Walsh. I thought, oh, these are interesting. They kind of really relate to me, and I can really get what he's talking about. He understands about business growth. And then I found that he had a book called Business Growth by Design. I thought, well, the articles were interesting. I think I'm going to, order the book. So I get this book, and the first thing, like the first chapter, is about having holidays. If you want to grow your business, you need to take holidays. And I thought, where's he coming from? This is a bit of a sort of a strange place to begin. And that really kind of intrigued me. And as I began to read the book, read more and more, he had some really interesting ideas on really how you can grow your business. And he understood, I think, what it was like to be a small business wanting to be a big business. So at the end of the book, it said, if you want to take your business to the next level, contact me. And he had his email address, and I thought, right, well, I do, and I really enjoyed this book, and I'm going to contact him. So I sent him an email, and he didn't respond, and then I thought, right, well, a week later I'll just send him another email. He did respond. We ended up having a WebEx, a conversation describing what our business was about, that we were in the UK, he was in Vancouver, and we agreed that he would come over for 3 days. He would meet us and our team, which was quite small at that point, probably about sort of 10, 11 people. And if he thought it was a goer and that we could work together in some way, we would. But if not, he had the chance to visit England, which he'd never visited before. So that was our agreement. He came over for 3 days. He had good discussions, and we decided that we wanted to go ahead and to work with him as our business mentor.
What made you decide to work with Michael?
Well, it's an interesting question, really, about why we worked with Michael, because I had worked with other consultants, and I think really what I found with Michael is that, first of all, he really did have expertise in growing businesses. He had done it for lots of businesses, and he could sort of demonstrate or describe ways he's worked with them. So that gave me confidence. He also sort of wasn't coming from a point of view of any particular expertise. Like sometimes I've worked with specialists or consultants who maybe have got a very strong banking background, and their advice would always be on banking, or it would be on marketing. It'd always be on marketing. Whereas he had a good kind of overall view and understanding of business and all the moving parts that need to be involved to grow a business, and not just one aspect. And he also, I think, more than a lot of people, really understood what it felt like and what the challenges were to be a small business and wanting to grow.
What has been your experience of working with Michael?
I think what I like about Michael is that he thinks about things in original and different ways, and he gets you to kind of change your perspective and to think about things differently. Because sometimes, when you have problems, you really kind of get stuck in your problems and trying to solve the problem. And he somehow or other just comes up with a different way of approaching it or looking at it, which makes it seem manageable, makes it seem like it's something that you can achieve. So I think he really helps to kind of bring a different perspective. From a mentoring point of view, he really helps to kind of give me clarity. So we'll be talking about things and I'll become clearer about what's important, and also just in terms of priorities, because I think with business, your priorities are continuously changing. So many things are happening, so many moving parts, and you need to continuously be reminded what is the important thing you should be focusing on as a CEO or managing director.
What benefits have you seen in your business ever since you started working with Michael?
Well, we've seen lots of benefits. I mean, I think the key thing really is that, when he first started working with us, we were turning over about, 400K that in UK pounds. And now we're tracking over 3 million. So we've seen a significant growth. We've seen a significant growth in our staff, in terms of the clients we work with. We've developed whole new departments. We're looking at how we could train up and develop our people and our managers. So the growth has been really quite significant.
How has your business changed?
Well, it really is pretty much, in lots of ways, unrecognizable from what it was, because we were so few people. I think really what we've done is we've built up teams of expertise. We've built up our design development, our instructional design teams. We've built up project management teams. So what would happen is that a project manager would come in and like Andrea, and she comes in first of all, and then suddenly she has sort of 6 or 7 or 8 people working under her. So what happens is we had to then develop managers and a management team, and so the whole structure of the business has changed. We also improved all our processes to make sure that we could sort of scale up. We also introduced values and living our values, and that's affected our recruitment processes. So really, I would say that the whole business and every aspect of the business has changed.
What are your future goals and how can Kaizen help you get there?
I think now we're looking at being 3 times the size that we are. So we're kind of excited about growth, not just for growth's sake, but because we really want to be, leaders in Europe. Michael's helping us at each stage of our growth because there's all sorts of challenges depending on what size you are. And, right now we're looking at how we can really expand our reach further into Europe and into the UK. So we're really exploring different sort of marketing possibilities. We're also looking at our people and different people we're going to be needing. So he's really assisting us to kind of, build out our strategy and really make it happen.
What do you see now that you didn't see before working with Kaizen?
I think that there are a lot more perspectives that I see, different ways of looking at problems, different ways of looking at situations. I think that in lots of ways, I've grown tremendously just, having this sort of mentor support and how I kind of deal and consider, problems or issues that we might be having because things are changing so frequently. But I think also it sort of challenged some of my assumptions. Like a common assumption is that if you want to grow your business, you have to have an investor. And one of the things Michael said early on is he said, if you want to grow it to 10 million, you don't necessarily need an investor. You just really need to make sure that you've got robust sales and that you can deliver to really high standards. And there are different ways that you can do this. So sometimes, we just sort of accept things, what people are just sort of saying as a general truth, which may not be true at all. It just might be someone's opinion, or even if it's a group of people's opinions. So I think that really what Michael helped us to do is to look at different perspectives, explore different opportunities or different ways that we can address problems.
What tips do you have for other entrepreneurs undergoing growth in their businesses?
I think that really, if you can find a business mentor like Michael, he makes a huge difference. It's made a huge impact to our business. And not just for me, he's also worked with others in our team, like other managers and, directors. And I think that really sometimes having that outside view can make a tremendous difference to how you grow and develop, because oftentimes we tend to think sort of internally and, how we're going to solve it internally, but just having someone to kind of look at it from a different way and to get you to kind of think and do different things, can really make a big difference.